Welcome, GHADBODY gang. Thank you for joining me. To my family in the building, let's go. Gotta protect my energy before I go in. We don't want to summon the spirits of high value men tonight. We don't want to be summoning the spirits of high value men tonight, because you know what? High value black men are toxic to our race. And I'm going to speak the truth tonight to my GHADBODY gang. And I need y'all to be here with me. Let me go ahead and protect myself. Protect my crown. Let's go. We good? We good. Glorious day, glorious evening to my GHADBODY gang tonight. I am here, your one and only Omaka. I am the truth, I am the light, I am the way. And I am here to break down to you this whole notion of high value men. It is one of the most thrown around words of today on the internet. Okay? And you know what they say. I come with receipts. But I don't use terms that are not original. So I don't come with receipts. I come with the files. I come with files. I pull files out on people. And I got the files on old boy Kevin Samuels. I got the files on you, bro. See, we want to talk about high value men tonight. Okay? Tag Kevin Samuels in this. Let him know. I'm calling him out. I'm summoning Kevin Samuels. But you already know, if I'm coming here, I'm coming with the files tonight. So you see a high value man in your presence tonight. A high value man standing in your presence. Because this is the term that's being thrown around. It seems like this is what everybody is looking for. It seems like this is what everybody wants. It seems like this is what everybody is after. But I beg to differ. I beg to differ that a black woman of today, the modern era black woman, is looking for a high value man. I beg to differ that she's looking for a high value black man. And I'm going to give you the reason why. That a black woman of today is not looking for a high value man. I can go into this right now, but I come with the files. And so I am not going to give you, I'm not here to give you the goods early. You gotta wait for this. You gotta wait to get these goods. Because we are talking about high value men tonight, aren't we? Huh? But there's a guru out there on the internet. He goes by the name of Kevin Samuels. He's a public figure. And he has said that men are not looking for average women. I've heard that men, high value men, want high value women. This is what I heard. But I got the files on you tonight, Kevin Samuels. You want to know the truth? I actually like Kevin Samuels. He makes great and valid points. He makes great and valid points for the man who plays in a system built to work against him. So tonight, we're going to talk about high value. Tonight, we're going to talk about high value men versus a high virtuous man. You understand? So let me, without further ado, give you my topic of tonight. Here's where we're at. High value black men, are toxic to our race. I'm going to say it again. High value black men are toxic. And you know how I like to use the word toxic? For those of you who are new to me, I like to take words and break them down. I like to take words and give them new meaning. I like to take words and give them what they actually are saying. And when you look at the word toxic, if you break it down into a syllable, because it is one, then you will have the word too sick. Too sick. And so high value black men are too sick to our race. They're too sick. They're no good. Throw them away. They're no good. High value black men are too sick to our race. Toxic. But we take words and give them new meaning. They're too sick. Just split the word up and you got too sick. That's what it is when you get high value black men. You get too sick men to our race. Tag Kevin Samuels in this video. Let him know that I actually like Kevin Samuels. Because what he says, what he has to say, it works in a world where black men are the 1% of the 1%. I'm going to say that again. Where black men are 1% of the 1%. You see, high value black men are 1% of the 1%. So you got the 1% of the world, the wealthy, the rich, that sits at the top of the pyramid, the few. And those are your rich billionaire, trillionaire elites. And those black men that sit at the table with those elites, they're the 1%. They forget who they are simply because their bank account matches or is equivalent to some of the numbers of the people they sit at the table with. And so black men forget, and they start to think that they are the equal to the men they sit with. But they forget they're black. And this is why they're too sick. I'm going to break all of this down. But first, I want you to listen to what Kevin Samuels says about high value black men. Give me 3 to 4 minutes on this because the video is about 3 to 4 minutes long. So just take some time. Let Kevin Samuels break down to you what a high value black man is. And I'm going to give you what a high virtuous black man is. And I'm going to compare the two. And I'm going to show you the reason why high value black men are toxic or too sick. Take the word toxic, split it up. You got too sick. High value black men are too sick to our race. Okay? So let's get into the video right now, beloved.
High value men are not bums. High value men are not bums. The term high value men is not a Kevin Samuels creation. I didn't come up with that concept. It's been floating around for decades. I just put some parameters to it and I put some things that I understand to it. That's what I did. But it's not my term. I popularized it. I pushed it out to have a conversation about it, just like the term modern women. I didn't make that term up either, but we put some context behind it. And to be a high value man, let me give you some parameters. Now, I've always said that you don't have to like what I say, but but you have to be making $100,000 or more annually. Look, I didn't come up with that six-figure thing that's been with us since 1984. But it really breaks down to about $10,000 a month, or $100,000 or more. And that's Dallas dollars, Atlanta dollars, Houston dollars. The next, you have to earn that for 3 to 5 years so you can show some consistency. What is the whole point of this? That means you could be born out of nothing, and in 3 years, you can turn your entire situation around. if you're willing to do the work. See, I think that bothers some men about when this whole notion of high value, because people want to say money shouldn't count. Money does count. It's the first thing that counts, but it's also the one that's most variable. And when you hear people argue this stuff, they're arguing in their feelings. Usually arguing in their feelings. 3 to 5 years. But here's some of the most important things about high-value men. Existing high-value men recognize him as a peer, meaning somebody on their level, or as a potential peer. Why? Because a large part of being a high-value man means you have a network of other high-value men and others. The next thing is you have some sort of visibility. Why? And things kind of make sense at a glance. Saying I'm the VP of mergers and acquisitions for Goldman Sachs is different than saying I'm an entrepreneur. One, most people understand at a glance. The other takes a little bit more conversation. And the last part is arguably one of the most important parts, utility. He's useful to others in the group. There's no such thing as high-value loners. You're not high value if you're only useful to yourself. If you're selfish, if you're a lone wolf, you may be an extremely successful man. You may be very rich, but your value and your use to others is minimized. Now, why is this
contrary?
Important? Because there may be other things that go on top of this thing, but these are some basic principles that have stand the test of time, stand the test of different kind of monetary systems, different forms of government. Value men are not bums. High value men are not bums. The term high value men is not.
Okay, thank you, Kevin Samuels, for that little soliloquy that you have given us. Now, as you will hear from the God, I am going to tell you what a real man is and not a high value man. A high value man is toxic to our race. A high value black man. And why do I specify on the term black men? Because if you watch Kevin Samuels enough, he talks to a wide range of people, a wide array of people. Yes, we know this. He talks to blacks, he talks to whites. But if you hear Kevin Samuels and you know Kevin Samuels and you've listened to Kevin Samuels, he always throws in his rhetoric a lot of black history when it comes down to why black, and when he's talking to women, he's talking to black women. Let's just make that clear. He's talking to black women. And so, suffice to say, if he's talking to black women about them wanting a high value men, most people date their own race, right? Most people do. So what kind of a man is he talking about when he's talking to black women? He's talking about black men. He's talking about black men. And so therefore, since he won't out himself, meaning since he won't basically go out on a limb and say, my rhetoric, my message is dedicated to black men. My message is directed at black men, because then he would lose a lot of his clients. He would lose potential clients. He would lose money. He would lose a lot of big clients if he started to specify and make his demographic specifically black men. So he cannot make his demographic specifically black men, but he uses in a lot of his messages when he's talking to women about high value men, he uses a lot of black history. And when someone is throwing black history in their rhetoric, they're talking about themselves and their race. And about his race. And therefore, if he's talking about throwing a lot of black history numbers, historical numbers of why blacks are this, blacks are at the lower of that, blacks are at the highest of this, why blacks are this and that, when he's using that kind of a rhetoric in his messages, on his lives, and he's usually talking to black women about these type of men. And as I said, most people usually date within their race, most. So therefore, he's talking about black men, high value black men. But he can't go out on a limb and say my demographic is black men. I'm directing my message to black men and black women, because he would lose clients if he say that. So, Mr. Kevin Samuels, I'm going to say this again. I actually like Kevin Samuels. I really do. I appreciate the brother for his platform, what he's doing with his platform. Not to say that I agree with the brother. I didn't say I agree with the brother. I said I like him. Why? Because he's actually using a lot of language that a lot of black, what it's doing is, on the flip side, what he don't understand is what he's doing. Maybe he knows he's doing this, but he's actually helping black women see the value in themselves. Even though he really dogs women when he's talking, he really kind of put women, he kind of makes them feel lower than they already do. And so, but he's making women have an introspection. He's allowing women to have this introspective look. Like, damn, what do I offer? What do I bring? What do I have to offer to a man? So he's doing something good that he don't know, and maybe he do know. He's helping black women have an introspection of self and say, what is it that I offer? He's making them question things that they've never probably questioned had he not come on the scene. But I gotta beef with old Kevin Samuels. And this is actually not only at Kevin Samuels, because now the term has taken off like a wildfire in California. Okay? The term has taken off. And so everybody on every radio show, podcast is using the term high value men. As you heard Kevin Samuels say, I didn't come up with the term. It's been around for decades, but he made it popular again. I never really heard the term be floated around like that until he came to the scene. So to me, it was through him that I learned of this high value man term. But me, I like to look at things a little deeper. I like to go in things a little bit deeper. I like to take a look at things on a level that most people do not see. And you know where I always come from, right? I always and will always come from a holistic perspective. So allow me to give you everything I do is going to be holistically seen through my holistic eye. So it's a holistic perspective that I come from. So let's break down Kevin Samuels. And I mean break down. Let's break down Kevin Samuels' 6 top points on what a high value man is. And I'm gonna tear it up. Tell Kevin Samuels that I'm over here debunking this whole high value men thing. Go over there and tell him that for me. Say, yo, there's a God over there debunking your knowledge and your teachings. Go see about that. Go see about it, because I want to FaceTime him live right here with me. Okay. Now, let's go in. Kevin Samuels. And you see me dressed in my high value suit today. Dressed in my high value suit. Looking high value today. I'm high value. I'm Mr. High Value today, so that you can understand where I'm coming from. I am making a mockery of this whole thing, okay? Just so you know, I'm a high value man without a suit. One. But first, let's break down the man's message. Oh, he says that his concepts of a high value man, his concepts of a high value man is this. Number one, first of all, this is where he lose me. This is where he lose me. He lost me when his first point was money. Okay? Finances. Okay? If you know me, you know what I'm about. The natural role of a man is land, laws, and language. When you look at, I'm not even tearing into his teaching yet. But when you look at the role of it, this is my holistic perspective right now. When you look at the role of the natural man, a man who lives one and in tune with his nature, a man going to hustle and grind and work to make money, That's not natural. Remember, I only come from a natural, holistic perspective. I'm not saying making money is wrong, but what I'm saying is the way you naturally incarnated into this realm, you are not made to work, grind, or hustle. I'm sorry, work is a part of it, but when I mean jobs. Work is always, don't get me wrong, work is a good thing. Jobs are not the good thing to me. So, work, jobs, and this man says I'm saying the natural role of man is land, laws, and language. And you establish land, laws, and language the very same way this country established land, laws, and language. How did they do it? They took it. They took land. And so this is what happens in nature. You understand? You go take it, but not from someone else. You see, this is where this country messed up. They took land from others when they didn't have to, because there's an abundance of land on this planet. And so he is stating that the first topic, or the first point of a high value man, is how much you earn. That's where he lost me, because how much you earn, and I'm doing high value man versus high virtuous man. A high virtuous man is not about how much he earns. And people say, this is the saying. The saying goes, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's why we're going to do the education and religious one topic I got coming up in a later date. It's not what you know, it's who you know. This is the same. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's backwards. It's not who you know. It is what you know. Because you came into this planet by yourself. And everything you came into this planet with, you didn't need a book to know how to be a human being. You did not need a book to tell you how to be a human. That knowledge already came with you. That knowledge already came with you. And so it's not who you know. It is what you know. Because I could be by myself in the jungle, in the forest, on an island. I don't know anybody on the island. If I am isolated on the island, what the hell does it matter who I know? If I'm isolated on an island, what the hell does it matter who I know? But the natural role of man is what you know. It's what you know. Can you survive on an island by yourself? It's about what you know. That's the natural role. The natural role of man is knowing himself. It's not about earning. See, earning is to go and get. Knowing is to sit within. I don't need to go and get this knowledge. It's already in me. I sit with this knowledge. I don't need to go get this knowledge. I sit with this knowledge. I don't need to go learn this knowledge or this truth. I already know this truth. This truth is already embedded, computed within my being, in my DNA. It's not about who you know. It's about what you know. Because you're going to find yourself alone on this planet someday. You're going to find yourself alone in the world someday. And you're not going to know anybody. And no one can come save you or help you. It's going to come down back to what you know. That's the virtuous. That's number one. I just obliterated Kevin Samuel's high value man stupidity of how much you earn. What the hell does how much I earn got to do with when I'm stuck on an island by myself or I'm in the jungle? What the hell does how much I earn, where does it come into play at? When my money can't get me a plane to come pick me up. When the money can't send a boat to come and get me off this island. It's going to come down to what I know, not who I know. Okay? So I just obliterated his first point, how much you earn. It's not about how much you earn, because to say how much you earn, to even make that your rhetoric is to say that a man has to go and get that knowledge to earn it. You have to go earn it. Earn it is to bring it to you, to bring it in. You have to go out and get it. You have to acquire it. But I'm telling you, the knowledge that you need to know, you don't need to acquire. It's already in you. This is the role of a high virtuous man. A high virtuous man already knows. He don't have to go and get the knowing. He don't have to go and get the knowledge. A high virtuous man, not a high value man, a high virtuous man already knows. Put me anywhere on any street USA. Put me on any island in the country. Put me on any island in the world, any jungle. Put me anywhere. I guarantee you I will survive. I guarantee you I will know how to survive in the world. Trust me, I will. Okay? I've taken survival lessons on how to survive in the woods, in the jungle, in the forest, you put me anywhere, and I guarantee you it's only going to come down to what I know, not who I know. Okay? And to say that a high value man is how much you earn, that is to say who you know. Because why? You got to go and get some people to pay you. You got to go and get a job. You got to go get a job so that man can pay you. He has to know you. What can you bring? So you have to go out and earn a way or a living. You have to go out and earn a living. Okay? And so you have to go and work toward getting people to trust who you are and the skills you got, and to bring that to the table and to say, you are worth this much. How much you're worth. It's not how much you earn, it's how much. His first point is how much you earn of a high value man. My first point is how much you're worth. You see, this kind of talk is toxic to our race. Why is that? Let's keep going. Why is this toxic to our race, black people? Because I've already told you, Kevin Samuels is directing his message at black people. We know this because if you listen to him enough, you will understand that he throws a lot of black history data in his messages. So obviously he's talking to black people. You understand? And he's throwing this history out there so you know who he's talking to. Right? So his first point is a high value man is how much you earn. A high virtuous man is how much you're worth. You see, if I got a skill out in the jungle somewhere and I'm by myself, I am worth way more money. Not money. I am worth way more than that man who got more money. I am worth way more. If this man don't know how to build, don't know how to go out and forage for food, don't know how to go swimming and spearfish, don't know how to go and boat and hunt his food. If this man don't know how to go and start a fire, he don't know how to go and pitch water and filter it. If this man don't know how to pitch a tent, if this man do not know how to climb a tree and get water out of the coconut, if this man don't know how to even open a coconut, if this man don't know how to do none of that, then damn it, he ain't worth a damn thing. His money ain't shit. I'm sorry to speak like this, but it ain't worth shit. You see what I'm saying? It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you're worth. I'm worth way more than that man who got money. You put us two on an island. Put us on an island and guarantee you he going to be looking for me to help us survive. And I'm going to be like, nah, eat your money. You got to get to a bank to get it. So, and even if you got it on you, go ahead and burn your money. Eat it. Eat your money. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be in this. I'm going to go dive in this ocean and spearfish real quick and bring me back, some swordfish or whatever. You dig? I'm going to go and get me some snapper or something. You go over here and you go do that. I'm going to go get me some sardines over here. And I'm going to start this fire. I'm going to go ahead and eat real good. And then I'm going to go ahead and chop these palm leaves down. And I'm going to go chop these bamboos down. And I'm going to build me a nice little shelter for myself to keep me covered from the elements. You dig? So you go ahead and do that. Take me some lemongrass, tie that thing together. You understand what I'm saying? Don't even know how to use the elements. Don't know how to use the natural environment around him. I'm coming from a natural, holistic perspective. If it ain't natural, it ain't right, beloved. I'm here to tell you, a high value man is toxic to the black race, because when it comes to surviving in this country, when it comes to warring, battling for your life, what the hell good is a high value black man when he has to turn up and be a warrior? Huh? Hey, Benit. Thank you for joining this live. What the hell is a high value man worth if he can't take you out somewhere in the middle of nowhere and know how to compass, know how to use the sun as his time clock and as his compass, know how to use the shadows? Huh? He don't know how to use the shadows. He don't know how to use the sun as a compass or a GPS, which is what our ancestors did. He don't know how to use the stars as a GPS. He don't know how to use the sun as a compass. Your man is lost. He ain't worth a damn thing. His money ain't no good. So that's number one. I just debunked the whole high value man. Number one, how much you earn. Nope, it's how much you're worth. And I ain't talking finances. Okay? So, number two, Mr. Kevin Samuels. Okay? Tag Kevin Samuels. Y'all donate to the Cash App, man. Come on. I'm doing this. I'm going live all week long. I'm probably going to be going live for next year. I don't know. But I'm finna just go ahead and destroy a lot of these teachers out here, because I'm telling you, it ain't natural. It ain't right. Okay? And I'm going to share with you, I'm waking you up to why this whole system that they play into is not the system that works for any of us. It's not the system that works. Shalom. Shalom life. Okay? Number two, Mr. Kevin Samuels. How long you are making this money? So he says 3 to 5 years, you can be setting yourself up. You can change your whole situation around. But I want to give you something that we are not even removed from yet. COVID-19 just did what to a lot of people? Costed a lot of people jobs, didn't it? Put a lot of people out of work, didn't it? Les Brown used to always say this. Les Brown used to have a saying. Les Brown is a motivational speaker, and he has a saying. Huh? Les Brown saying is, one sickness could wipe out a business. Did you hear that? Les Brown used to quote this phrase. I used to listen to Les Brown, still one of my favorite speakers out there. He said, one illness, one sickness could wipe out a business. One sickness could wipe out a business. And we just seen something we're not really far too removed from right now. COVID has wiped out many of businesses. People have lost homes during this pandemic. People have lost jobs during this pandemic. People have lost their way of life during this pandemic. Oh, and people have lost their pensions during this pandemic. So how much? You spent 5 years getting that money. You spent 5 years building yourself up to that money, only to do what? Only to be out of business, only to be out of service, only to not be worth any damn thing. So a high value man making money for a very long time don't understand that any given sickness, he can be literally pitching pennies. He could be pinching pennies. Yes. So there you have it. Number two, debunk how long you are making this money. You see, this is toxic to the black race. What do you say? High value men? I say high value. Let me put it back up there for you. High value black men are toxic to our race. And I haven't even told you why yet. Why? I haven't even told you why high value black men. You got to stay tuned for that part. I'm not even done. I haven't even told you why high value black men are toxic to our race. Don't go nowhere. It gets better than what I'm already. Trying my best not to cuss, but I'm tearing this man's rhetoric to shreds right now. Okay? High value black men are toxic to our race, and I haven't even got into that part yet. But stay tuned. Stay right here with me, and I'm going to kill it. Okay? I'm only going to kill it. Let's keep going. High value black men are toxic to our race. So I just destroyed his second point. How long you making this money? Why? Because let me tell you why. Black men are at the bottom of the earning totem pole. And so when a black man makes it out of the muck, when a black man raises himself up out of the muck, and he goes to sit at the table with the elites, the power structures, what does he do? He leaves his people behind. Oh yeah, it's true. He forgets who he is, because now his mentality is, I am one of them now, because I'm in this bracket, I'm in this tax bracket. That's too sick thinking. That's toxic thinking. Take the word too sick and break it down. You got toxic. You got too sick. Take the word toxic and break it down. You got too sick. This is too sick. They're too sick for us. So the thinking is off, right? And so what they're doing is they raise themselves up out of the muck. They forget who they are because they go sit at the table with the mentality of people who see themselves separate of everybody else. And so what he does do is he becomes like-minded with these toxic people, and he becomes separate of who he is, separate from who he is. Those of who he is. He becomes separate from those of who he is. Because he's sitting at the table with the mentality of people that see themselves separate from the rest of the world. They call themselves the 1%ers. And so when a black man raises himself up out of the muck to sit at the table with the 1%ers, even at the table of the 1%ers, he's 1% of the 1%ers. He's 1% of the 1%ers. So in this 1%, let's just say you got 1,000 men. This is just hypothetically speaking. Let's say you got 1,000 men. He's at the bottom. And this is what he get for thinking that he can sit at the table with these people and have a place with them. And they still see you as a nigga. They still see you as a nigga. Okay? Let's just keep it all the way 100. They still see you, my G, as a nigga. That's just the facts, bro. I'm not here to make this race. I'm here to tell you why high value black men are toxic to our race. Because they go sit at the table with these people who are 1%. The 1% already see themselves separate of us. And they do the work to separate themselves from us. So when a high value black man gets up to that status, he sees himself as one of them, but they don't see him as one of them. They see him still as a nigga. They're like, what you doing here? He like, I just went over the $10 million mark, man. I'm one of you guys now. They'll be like, sit your black ass down over there and let us push these buttons. You sit your black ass down over there and you watch us do the work while we push buttons, okay? I call this the Kanye West dilemma. This is the Kanye West dilemma. See, Kanye West had this dilemma. He got up there, and what he realized when he got up there was he still was not accepted. That's why you see Kanye West doing the stuff he do now. Because he's like, okay, if I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be a rebellious rich. I'm gonna be unruly rich. If I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm not gonna look corporate. I'm not gonna dress corporate. I'm not gonna talk corporate. I'm not gonna do none of that. So Kanye West is rich, okay, a man with money. But when he got up there, he recognized, damn, I thought I was able to sit with these people. This is why he was mad at Jay-Z. Y'all don't really know the story to that. But the fact of the matter is, it was beyond music. It was bigger than music. This is why him and Jay-Z had a falling out. Because Jay-Z sits at the table with the elite. Kanye West is a different thinker. So Jay-Z thinks like them. Kanye West didn't. And when Kanye West and Jay-Z collided in those thinking, Kanye West seen how he wasn't really truly accepted as one of them. They've accepted Jay-Z. Why? Because Jay-Z carries the party line. Jay-Z carries the party line. He talks the talk, walks the walk, dresses the walk. But he's trying his best to, wake himself out and act like he's one of us, trying to, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to have some sense of a rebellion in him, but he can't. You too late. You too late. You've been already accepted. You've already been accepted as one of them, so it's too late for you to try and grow your locks out and try to now put on a display an act that you are not an elite figure with the elites at the table. No, you one of them. You understand? Maybe it was a bug. So, let's go into number 2. He said, how long you been making this money? Mine is a high virtuous man. A high virtuous man is how well you take care of yourself and your health. Because damn, what did I say? Les Brown saying is what? One sickness could wipe out a business. One sickness and one illness could wipe out a business. Okay? One sickness could wipe out a business. And COVID proved that. So I don't have to debate that fact. That's a fact. We saw it. We saw it happen with COVID. So that's not me. That's not hyperbole. That's not me just speaking. That's not rhetoric. That's true. We saw what COVID did. One sickness could wipe out a business. Well, COVID wiped out many of businesses, okay? So let's just keep going. Number 2, a high virtuous man is how well you take care of yourself. How well you take care of yourself / health. How well you take care of yourself. That's the role of a high virtuous man, not a high value man. Because if you can have all the money in the world and still be sick. You understand? You can have all the money in the world, making all the money in the world, but still be a sick individual. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. If you don't have health, you don't have wealth. If you don't have health, then that wealth don't mean a damn thing. You understand? If you don't have health, you don't have wealth. You know what they say? Howard Hughes was one of the richest white men in America, and when he died, they said when Howard Hughes died, they asked, how much did Howard Hughes leave behind? They say he left it all. He left it all behind because you can't take it with you. You understand? He left it all behind. He left it all. Whether it was a penny or whether it was a billion, he left it all because he can't take it. You understand? And so we can't take it with us. And so because we can't take it with us, why stress? Why work? Why put your health through working every single day to try and amass and accumulate millions? Nothing wrong with accumulating land, because the natural role of man is land, laws, and language. And I'll talk about that in a later video. I actually already did that video. Go listen to it on my YouTube channel at GHADBODY on YouTube. Go listen to that on YouTube already. Okay? Land, laws, and language, and understand the natural role of man, because you will see what the natural role of man is in that video. Land, laws, and language. I break that down. So it's not about you cannot have nothing while you're on this planet. No, we can have stuff, but what you should not lose in the midst of having and getting, what you should not lose. What does the Bible say? In all thy getting, get understanding. In all thy getting, in all your getting, get understanding. Get understanding of yourself, my G. Get understanding of who you are. And so in all thy getting, you lose because you're getting, but you're not giving back. And you lose. You got to keep working to keep the business working. I'm going to say that again. You got to keep working to keep the business working. Still went over your heads? I'm going to say it one more time. You got to keep working to keep it all working. That's putting yourself in an early grave because you're giving up your health for that. Okay? You're giving up your health for that. And you may say, well, rich people, they get to do what they want. No, they don't. Because here's why. Because, yeah, a rich person may get to go travel around the world all day long. A rich person may get to go be on islands in paradise all day long. A rich person may get to have 10, 15 houses all around the world all day long. But mentally, he's sick. Because mentally, when you got a business, it has to be at the forefront of your mind, not at the back of your mind. It has to be at the forefront of your mind. It has to be. It has to be at the forefront of your mind. So mentally, they're sick. They're mentally unfit. The high virtuous man, number 2, is how well you take care of yourself. High virtuous man. Okay? Keep going. Number 3, Kevin Samuels say group acceptance. Acceptance. Group, I was fumbling with that word. Group acceptance. Group acceptance. Acceptance. Group acceptance. And that is wanting to have a seat at the table. Wanting to be accepted in the group. Group acceptance. Wanting to be accepted in the group. In the elite. You want to be accepted. Huh? You want a seat at the table. That's number 3, group acceptance. When you are high value men, everybody accepts you. No, they don't. Because as I said to you, you can be a high value man, get up in the elite status with the elites, and you still, being a black man, is 1% of the 1%ers. You are still at the bottom of the 1% of those people. And they're going to look at you and say, how he get in the room? How he get in the door? Who let him in? You understand? And because of that thinking he's having, wanting to be accepted by the power elite whites, he's losing himself. He's losing who he is. He's losing who he is. Okay? But the third one of high virtuous man is not group acceptance, but, ooh, this one's beautiful. I love this one. It is group collective. Tell Kevin Samuels, come see me. Because if it ain't natural, it ain't right, beloved. If it ain't natural, it ain't right. It got to be the natural way. And this is tribe talk. This is tribe talk. This is tribal talk right here. This is tribal talk. I'm tearing this man's rhetoric to shreds right now. Go tag Kevin Samuels and tell him come see me, okay? Okay? Tell him come see me, okay? Tell him holler at me. His number 3 point of high value man is group acceptance. Fuck wanting to be accepted. I don't need to be accepted. I don't need to be accepted. I'm going to vibe to my tribe. I'm going to vibe with my tribe. I'm going to attract my tribe. And you know what that's called? Group collective. That means I don't have to do, I don't have to pick up the slack for him, and he don't have to pick up the slack for me. I do my part, he do his part. Why? Because I attracted my tribe. I didn't go and try and join a group that already don't want me. I attracted those who are alike me. I attracted like-minded. I attracted those who are alike me. I attracted those who are on my vibration. I attracted those. That's called tribe. I attracted my tribe. I vibrated my tribe. I vibe with my tribe. I vibe with my tribe. So it's not group acceptance. See, group acceptance is asking, will you accept me? I'm in your tax bracket now. Will you accept me? I've made the money now. Will you accept me and put me in your fraternities? Will you accept me and put me in your private secret societies? Will you accept me and put me in your group? I don't have to ask someone to be accepted if I align. That's why I am God. Great harmonious alignment of the divine. I am in my divine purpose. I am in alignment. I am in harmonious alignment with my divine purpose, which makes me great. So now I am great at what I do. So guess what? If I just do what I do, I'm going to be God. I'm going to be great. I'm going to be great if I just do what I do and do it well. Do it like I love it. Do it as if I love it. Then therefore, I'm going to attract to me those who do what they do well, do it because they love it, and we do it, and we come together in harmonious alignment, beloved. That's called God. That's divinity. That is my godly brother. That is my godly sister. So now we attract each other. And so therefore I don't have to ask to be accepted. Group acceptance is asking to be accepted. I'm not asking you shit. Sorry, I'm cussing, but I got to be real. I'm not asking you nothing. I'm going to do what I do great. I'm going to do what I do well, and you do what you do well. And if we align, we align, and therefore that's called collective. We are group collecting. We're collecting. We're coming together. That's group collective. That is group collective. That is group collective, not group acceptance. I don't need to be accepted. I'm not asking to be accepted. I'm not going to ask you to be accepted. I'm going to do what I do it well, do it great, because I'm God. I'm in harmonious alignment with my divinity, with my purpose. And so therefore, when you see me, you're seeing greatness at work. Okay? You're seeing greatness at work, beloved. And so therefore, I am not going to try and get out of my zone, get out of my space, get out of who I am. Detach from who I am naturally, just to try and go over there and do what you do, leave what I'm doing behind, go do what you do, and try to align with you with what you do. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I came here to do it well, do it great, do it because it's my purpose. You do what you do well, and if we align, we align. We meet, we meet. If we don't, we don't. And so those who meet with me, that's my tribe. That's called group collective. That's the natural way. That's the natural way, baby. That's the natural way. It don't take effort. Work. We all have a work here. But work, let me say this. We all have a work here. But work doesn't take effort. Jobs is laboring. Jobs takes labor. Work takes no effort. You see that? See how that works? Work doesn't take effort. When you are doing what you came here to do great, you wake up in the morning and you breathe it. It manifests. You think it manifests because it's who you are. When you breathe it, it manifests. When you think it manifests. When you move, it manifests. Because it has to. It's law. It's universal law. The first law of the universe, the first universal law of the law of divine oneness. If I am one with my divinity, then all I gotta do is think my shit. All I gotta do is breathe my shit. It's going to manifest because that is the universe. That's the first law of that's the first universal law, the law of divine oneness, beloved. I don't need to go do what you do. I don't need to go gravitate towards you. I just need to do what I'm doing and do it very well. If I'm in oneness with what I'm here to do with my divinity, if I'm in oneness with my divinity, if I am one with my divinity, I can wake up and breathe my purpose. I can wake up in my purpose, breathe it, and it'll manifest. Because that's law. That's law. That's law. Has to. Because it's who I am. An apple tree is going to produce apples because it's who it is. It's what it is. That's what an apple tree is. That's not effort. That doesn't take effort. That's not work. When you see an apple tree producing apples, that's not work. That's not effort. That's what it came here to do. So what did Jesus do? Jesus came upon the fig tree. Jesus came upon the fig tree. And he saw that the fig tree didn't have no figs on it. And what did he do? He cursed the damn tree. He said, you are bearing no fruit. You shall be cast in the fire and wither away. And he cursed the tree and it withered away immediately. The tree withered away immediately. Because it was not living in its purpose. It was not bearing fruit. It was not doing what it naturally came here to do. Therefore, the tree was cursed. When you're not living in your natural divine purpose, beloved, you are cursed. You're cursing yourself. You're putting a hex on yourself. Facts. But we're not going to get too deep into the spiritual talk. This is more on a physical level today, because we're talking about high value black men being toxic or too sick to our race. And I haven't even gotten into that soliloquy yet, and I will after I keep tearing apart Kevin Samuel's rhetoric here. So let's keep going, because we're talking about race right here, right? Okay, so let's keep going. Number 4, I already tore apart 3 of them already. So the third one was group acceptance. I'm not going to ask you for nothing. I'm not going to ask you, can you accept me? I'm going to be in divine oneness with my purpose. I'm going to wake up and live my purpose. And those who align, who are living their purpose, we're going to meet. That's my tribe. Group collective, beloved. Group collective, what everybody brings to the table. Not me being the boss. What can you bring to help me manifest more of what I do? No. What can you bring to help us manifest more of what we're here to do? Not what can you bring to help me manifest my business and make it bigger and better. No, what can you bring to the table to help us manifest what we're here to do, what I am here to do, and what you are here to do? Okay? That's called group collective, not group acceptance. I don't need to be accepted, don't want to be accepted, and not going to ask you to accept me. Okay? Let's just keep it like that. You can take your acceptance letter and shove it where the sun don't shine. Unless you bend over and crack your rear end open, then the sun will shine there. Okay. So, right, nothing should be forced. Nothing should be forced. Let's keep going. We got 2 more. Where we at? 4? No, we at 4. We got 3 more. Stay with me, because I'm not done tearing this man's stuff up when it comes to the race part yet. Stay with me. I'm killing it. I'm on a roll right now. High value men, thank you for joining if you're here. Okay? I'm tearing you apart right now, and I'm going to show you why we don't want you. If you call yourself a high value man, I'm going to tell you like that right now. If you call yourself a high value man, go be a high value man. Because in the world where we exist, in the natural world, you're no use to us. You're simply no use to the natural world. You're not no use. You're no use to the natural world. Because nature doesn't need your money. Nature doesn't need your value, it needs your worth. It doesn't need your account number, it needs your mind. Alright, so let's tear it apart some more. Number 4 is high value men. This is Kevin Samuels, high value men. And let me say this again. I actually really like Kevin Samuels. He's a funny guy. I actually really like Kevin Samuels. But his rhetoric, I had to look into it and say, yo, Mr. Kevin Samuels, you kind of I think you're a little lost in the sauce here in the system, and you're trying, and what you're doing is you're bringing black men into this space where we're really not accepted. We're not accepted in that space. And you're putting black men, making them work harder, making them do more, labor more to get to a place to be accepted, only to be told, get your black ass out of here, we don't need you here. Because that's what they did. Well, that's what Kanye West did to himself. Meaning, when they wouldn't accept him as who he was, he had to buck the jack. He had to get up out of there. He had to say, to hell with it, I'm out. I'm gonna be a rebel my whole life. And his music is a rebellious music. Okay? He goes against the grain. Alright? And so he's basically sticking the finger to the man, saying, I don't need y'all. I got my own record label. I'm my own producer. I make good music, and I can sign my own artists. So what? So what? You can't stop me. And I got probably the highest fashion designer line in the world. Okay? So you can't stop a man like Kanye West. Alright, let's keep going. Number 4 is high value men. Network. This is Kevin Samuels. Network of other rich men. Network of other rich men. Now there's a saying that goes, your network determines your net worth. Your network determines your net worth. This is the saying, right? We've heard this all over the place. Okay? So he says network of other rich men. Okay. There's not much more I need to say to that. To break it down, I'm just going to go into my point of a high virtuous man, not a high value man. Because to tear that one apart is really to repeat number 1. No, it's really to repeat number 3. So he's redundant in his he's being redundant in his knowledge. He's repeating one thing twice. So you look at number 3, group acceptance, and then you look at number 4, network of other rich men. Well, what the hell is group acceptance? It's a network of rich men. That's redundant, you dumbass. That's redundant. You understand what I'm saying? So when you talk about number 3, group acceptance, you're talking about a network of other rich men, stupid. So he's repeating himself. He only had really 5 points here because 3 and 4 are the same. That's why I'm not even going to tear it down. When I heard that, I was like, wait a minute. This man, is he dumb or is he dumb? Because he just said the same thing twice. Group acceptance is putting yourself in a group or a network of other rich men. Come on now. That's repeating yourself. That's being redundant. You got 5 points. You don't got 6. That's why I'm not even finna tear that one apart on his end. But I'm gonna tell you on mine what a high virtuous man is. He says a network of other rich men. I say a high virtuous man is interconnectability. Listen to the word again. Interconnectability. How well a virtuous man can fit in a family system and structure. This is so key and so important, especially when it comes to black men in our race and black women in the black family. This is more important than any of those other points. Why? Because my G, if you don't know how to be if you can say you a man all you want, but the moment you get a wife and you don't know how to be a husband, the moment you get a wife and you don't know how to be a father, you don't know how to integrate these things and lead, you ain't much of a man, my G. You ain't much of a man. You ain't much of a leader. So interconnectability. Interconnectability is what? Beloved, all things on this planet is interconnected. When you see trees, you see trees separate of each other, spaced out, that don't mean they're not communicating to each other. Everything is interconnected. A bee pollinates a flower, okay, by taking its nectar and making honey. Interconnectability. There's an exchange. There is a I give you this, and while you come and take this, you're going to be giving me something for it. We're going to have there's an interconnectability. I connect with this plant, this flower. That flower connects with the bee. We connect, okay? Not network, but interconnectability. When you see trees spaced out, beloved, but underneath it, the roots are all together. They're interconnected. Trees are communicating to each other. Everything's interconnected. You understand? Underneath the soil, underneath it all. You understand? Everything's interconnected. The minerals in the water is interconnected. And so when you go drink water, you're not just drinking a soluble element. You're actually drinking an electrolyte that your body needs. So you are interconnected to water. That's why you're made up of water. And your body needs it. You're made up of water. Your body needs it. That tells you need the resource of this natural world. It's interconnected. You need that natural resource. Your body needs that. Interconnectability. Everything is interconnected. Okay? Underneath the soil, you may see trees spaced out over here, over there, but the roots are growing. The roots are moving. The roots are alive. And the roots are connecting to each other underneath it all. You understand? As I said, a bee is connected to a plant, a flower, taking nectar to make honey. There's a lot of exchanges going on. And the flower, the bee is cross-pollinating from flowers and allowing these flowers to mate. These flowers are mating through a bee. Flowers are being pollinated and mating through bees. It's all interconnected. And so it's how well can a virtuous man fit in the family structure, fit in in a family system? How well can you fit? If you can't fit, you ain't no good. If you can't fit, if you can't, like I said, you can call yourself a man all you want, thinking that you got money, and you call yourself a high value man. They get their money and they think that that's what makes them a man. But that don't make you a man, my G. That don't make you a man. It don't make you a man, because if you cannot interconnect simply with your family, your immediate family, your wife and your kids. Most rich men are disconnected from their family. Most rich people are disconnected from their children. I used to work at a summer camp in North Carolina, and these kids were kids of millionaires and billionaires that came to this outdoor survivor camp. These kids come to this outdoor I worked at this for a summer. I worked at this outdoor survivor camp for rich white kids. And these rich white people would put their kids here because the kids were troubled teens. So they want to teach these kids how to give these kids some hard lessons in life. So what we did as leaders in survivor camp with these kids was we taught these kids, these rich white kids, how to start fires, how to pitch tents, how to pitch water and filter the water. We taught them all of the survival things they needed to know, because they did not know. I got him though. They did not know how to do. They don't know how to do that because they're not connected to their family, because their family's all rich and dad is always traveling, making money, going somewhere. He's not connected to his kids. And so what happens to kids that don't have a father raising them or a mother raising them? They start getting on drugs. They start getting in trouble, breaking the law, hanging out with the wrong friends. And a lot of these kids that came to this camp were those kind of kids. They start getting in trouble, breaking the law. And the judge, before sending these kids off to juvenile detention, sending these kids off to jail, sending these kids off to prison, you see, for their own kind, they got correct programs for them so that these kids don't grow up with felony records. But for us, we don't get that same thing. For black kids, we don't get that. But for rich white kids, there's an alternative. They send them to this camp tucked away in the mountains of North Carolina. And they learn raw skills. Raw survivor skills. Real skills. Hands-on. And these kids, they can't take it. They break down and cry. They break down and cry. These are the boys. They break down and cry. They don't know how to do none of that stuff. They're away from home, and they got to be there for 90 days. Every kid that gets submitted there got to be there for 90 days. Automatic. 90 days. So these kids break down and cry. They don't know how to survive without mommy and daddy. But they're so used to living how they want to live, breaking laws and all that other stuff. So, my point in that is to say, you have to know how to fit in a family system. You have to know how to fit in a family structure. You have to know how to fit in any type of system. And so that's what the parents was doing with these rich kids, teaching them how to ingratiate themselves in the real world, because they've been living rich so long. They didn't have to work. They didn't have to do nothing. All right, let's keep it going. Number 5 is, he says visibility. He says visibility. And I caveated that by saying what your portfolio look like. It's basically about visibility. What you look like, image. What you look like when you speak. What you look like when you show up. Visibility. What you look like on social media. Marketing status. Your marketing. All of that. Portfolio, basically. What your portfolio look like. What your profile look like. Visibility. This is what a high value man is supposed to look like, right? How visible is he? How many people he got watching him and following him? How many people he got looking at him? How many people he got seeing him? Kevin Samuels, he's going to keep making money, but eventually he's going to go away, just like every other talking head on the internet does. They come and they go, and somebody else will take his place. He's not going to be visible for that long, but he created a lane for himself to now where he could make some money. He's making money, and that's cool. But he's not going to be visible for so long, for eternity. You know, people are going to keep finding new people. Okay, but a high virtuous man is not visibility, but the opposite, invisibility. A high virtuous man is invisibility. A virtuous man works in a system of people who work silently together. I don't want you to know what me and my people are doing. I don't want you to know what me and my tribe is doing. I want to go build on secretly where you don't know what we're doing. I don't need you to know. I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be seen for everything I'm doing. No. Some things and certain things got to be private. Has to stay private. And I'm going to work to do that. Understand? Now, number 6. I'm going to move it faster. Last point he has is utility. Useful to others is what I caveat. He says utility. Or that's actually his caveat, not mine. His is how useful are you to others? Me, I say a high virtuous man is, and I ain't tearing into it yet, how useful are you to others, utility. And I look at a high virtuous man as the same thing, utility. But not how useful are you to others. How useful you are to yourself. How useful you are to yourself. He becomes that person who is useful to himself, who goes and once again taps into his divine purpose, the divine knowledge within himself. He becomes the most wanted man. That man becomes the most wanted man. Now, that man becomes the most wanted man. A man who's useful to himself. He knows. He's like what's that guy named? John Henry. He's a man's man. He's like John Henry. A man's man. You don't know John Henry? Go look him up. He's like a man's man. Can do it all. How useful are you to yourself? Okay? Not to others. Because if you're useful to yourself, you become a most wanted man. I don't want to be useful to others. I want to be useful to myself. I want to be able to get up and do things on my own. If I can't do that, then I am no good. If I can't get up and do certain things on my own, I am no good. I am no good. I want to be useful to others by first being useful to myself. I want to be able to get up and do things on my own first. And see what I got. See what I can do. Push myself and see what how deep I can pull up from out of me the greatness I know that lies there. Now I'm going to tell you why this whole thing is toxic to how high value men is toxic to our race. Are you ready? Simply this. Black men already got it hard enough. We already got it hard enough being black. We already got it hard enough being... My mama told me I got 3... My mama used to always tell me, you got 3 strikes against you, son. She said, black, you a man, and you young. That's what she used to tell me when I was young. I'm still young. But she said, you young, black, and you're a male. So you got 3 strikes against you. And they want to get you when you're young. They want to get you when you're young. So my mom used to always tell me that when I was a kid. You young, you black, and you're a male. You're a man. You already got 3 strikes right now. And so, we as black men already got it hard enough. This high value man notion stuff is not only making it harder for more black men to try and step on the backs. I got a poem where I used to say in my poem, where I say, don't break the backs of another man's spine trying to increase your incline, because the faster you do rise, the faster you will fall into oblivion. I'm going to say that again for you real slow. Don't step on another man's back trying to increase your incline, because the faster you do rise, the faster you will fall into oblivion. That's in my poem called Exist. I haven't done a spoken word in a minute. Maybe I'll do the spoken word at the end of one of these videos sometime for you. So yeah, don't break another man's back. Break another man's back trying to increase your incline, because the faster you do rise, the faster you will fall into oblivion, beloved. And so the fact that this whole high value man stuff is getting black men to step on their own kind, to get to a space and a place where the elite sit, and doing it at the stepping on the backs of his own. Therefore, he's forgetting himself, number one. Therefore, he is forgetting himself. He's losing all notion of who he is culturally. He's losing all notion of who he is. So he's forgetting himself to get there. Because if he knew who he was, he would not be doing it at the detriment of his brother and of his sister. If he knew who he was, he wouldn't be doing it at the detriment. He wouldn't be doing it by stepping on the backs and on the toes of his own. But this whole high value man system stuff is getting black men to step on the backs of their own, to raise themselves up out from amongst us, to get to a table, only to get there and for them to say, you still don't belong here. You're still not one of us. I forget what song it was when I think it was a Kanye West song, when they said he said something like something, and you still a nigga. Maybe it was a Nas song or something. I forget what song it was. It said, and you still a nigga, right? And you still a nigga. You still a nigga. So you get there and you forgot, because you thought you were one of them. You got group acceptance. You thought you were one of them. You wanted to be group accepted and not group collective. So you forgot to build with yours. Instead of stepping on the backs to climb, you should have been down here group collecting, like-minded, building your tribe, attracting your tribe, vibrating on a higher level within yourself, on a divine level, vibrating on a divine level. Therefore, you could attract your tribe, like-minded, group collective, not group acceptance. I'm not trying to be accepted. And so this whole high value men stuff is toxic, because black men are trying, which already is hard on us, because we're the 1% of the 1%. We're the collective of black people. We're the 1% of the 100%. And then when the 1% out of the 100%, out of the 99, make it to the 1%, they are now the 1% of the 1%. So you still at the bottom, no matter how high you climb. Every time you climb, black man, you are at the bottom. No matter how high you climb, remember, you're still going to be at the bottom. No matter how high you climb, you still will be at the bottom. You will never be on top. Not in a place, not in a country like this, number one. You're never going to be on top. Never. And so this is toxic to our race, because now what it's doing to black women, take my glasses off of this, because I don't need to read no more. This high value men stuff, what it's doing to black women, the average black woman, I said this before, the average black woman, guess what, beloved? Yes, Jay-Z is one of those people I talked about earlier in the video. Yes. Watch this. The average black woman is a mother, my G. So while you climbing to the ladder to be a high value man, the average woman that wants you, the average woman that's going to want you is not going to be a high virtuous woman. She's a woman that has high value standards too. High maintenance standards. And see, when you become a high value man, you marry a high maintenance woman. That's the payoff. A high value man gets a high maintenance woman. But a high virtuous man gets a high virtuous woman. Now, this is sick to our race. This is toxic to our race. This high value thinking. Because black men are stepping on the backs of their own, only to go move in the neighborhoods of their counterparts and still not be accepted, only to go move into the suburbs with their counterparts, only to not be accepted still, to try and fight to be accepted, to try and fight to be loved when they still don't want you, they still don't love you, they still will tell the police on you, they still will call the police on you, they still will snitch on you if they seen you do something. They're showing you that you are still beneath them. Now again, this isn't about race, but I need to put the black man in his place. I made a rhyme. This isn't about race, but I need to put the black man in his place. You, black man, need to understand that you are the most toxic being when it comes to this high value topic. You're the most toxic one because you're fighting to get to the top of the ladder, not realizing that you're still at the bottom. Even when you get past us and you get up there, you're still at the bottom because you're still a nigga. Okay, remember that term. You're still a nigga. All right, now what's happening with black women? The average black woman is a mother. The average black woman in America today is a mom. Okay, so therefore your odds, the odds are against you. You're gonna more likely run into women with children than you're gonna run into single women, bro. You are without kids. You are going to more likely run into women with children or a child than you are with a woman who has none. So the odds are stacked against you. And because you play the game of the high value man, you are neglecting seeing a virtuous woman. This is the beautiful soliloquy I wanted to bring forth to you. The dumbasses that think that being a high value man is where it's at, and call Kevin Samuels and tell him I just destroyed everything he did, and he not even understanding that even in his own speech he was redundant with two of his points. So therefore, bro, you really just like out here just speaking, but really you're not really saying nothing. And so what happens is the average woman is a high virtuous woman. What's a high virtuous woman? A high virtuous woman values self-love. Why? Because the average woman has kids. Not every woman. I'm not going to speak every woman. Okay? But the average woman has kids. Therefore, that woman embodies a nurturing spirit. That woman embodies a nurturing spirit. That's one of the attributes of a virtuous woman, is a nurturing spirit. She embodies a nurturing spirit because the average woman you meet will have kids. And to be a mother, she has to be nurturing. So number one, she's a nurturing woman. Nurturing. Number two, she's a nourishing woman. It's another value of attribute of a virtuous woman. She's a nourishing woman because she has to nourish her child. And because that's a natural attribute of the black woman, that is an attribute she brings to you, black man. Is a nurturing spirit and a nourishing spirit and a nursing spirit. Nursing your mental back to health. Nursing your emotionals back to health. These are the attributes of a virtuous woman. You see? And so average high value men are overlooking virtuous women. So the high value man, the payoff is a high maintenance woman. A high maintenance woman more than likely will not have children on the average. She's not going to have children. She's going to have high standards, and she's not going to know how to cook. And I'm not saying cooking is a requirement, but these are the type of women you get. These are the type of women you get. Women that don't know how to boil eggs, my G. Women who don't know how to boil water. These are the type of women you're going to get. Women that don't know how to boil water. And so you're going to get a high maintenance woman. A woman who wants everything done for her. And you're not going to mind doing it for her because you got the money. But the thing is this. The spirit that you have attracted from that woman is not a nourishing, nurturing, and nursing woman. And so what's happening to black women is black women, and I'm saying this to black women today, because the average black woman is a mom, I'm saying take your eyes off that man and place your eyes on the 5 points of a high virtuous woman that I've named for you. Let me go through them again. A high virtuous man is not how much you earn, but how much you're worth. Number 2 is not how long you've been making this money, but how well you take care of yourself and your health. Number 3, not whether you are accepted by a group, but whether you know how to collect people till you know how to attract people instead of trying to ask people. Attract people, don't ask people. I'm going to say it again. Attract people, don't ask people. Don't ask. Attract. Okay? A high virtuous man knows how to attract without asking. A high virtuous man is not his net worth being in a group of other rich men, but it is his interconnectability. How well he fits in a family system and structure. Because, beloved, if you don't know how to do that, you can call yourself a man all you want. You can make all the money and say, I'm a man, I got this much money, I got these cars, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man. But bro, if you go and get you a woman and you marry this woman, you don't know how to be a husband, you ain't no man. If you go have kids, you don't know how to be no father, you ain't no man, bro. If you don't know how to fit and mold and build, if you know how to fit and mold the family structure together, and the family doesn't mean a wife and kids, it can mean a tribe, it can mean a group, it can mean an organization. If you don't know how to do that, you're not much of no man, bro. Okay? Okay? I'm just here to give you the truth. That's it. Number 5 is visibility. His is visibility. Mine is invisibility. It's not being seen. It's not telling everybody. It's not doing everything to be seen. It's not doing everything for clout. It's not chasing after the name and the fame and the fortune. It's doing it underneath the radar, under the radar, and build and build and build and build and build, and keep your thing original. Keep it natural. Keep it untainted. Keep it uncontaminated, and keep it righteous, and keep it pure. Invisibility, not visibility. I want to do invisibility. I don't want no one to see what I'm doing. I want to keep it pure. Number 6 is utility. How useful you are to others, but mine is utility. I say utility too. How useful you are to yourself. If you ain't taking care of yourself, you ain't no good. If you ain't eating well, you ain't no good. If you ain't living holistically, you ain't no good. If you ain't eating natural and organic, you ain't no good, my G. If you ain't taking care of your mind, your spirit, you ain't no good, my G. If you ain't doing these things, you are of no use. How can I be useful to others if I'm not taking care of my own self? I'm no use to others if I'm not taking care of my own self. These high virtuous men are toxic men. They're too sick for our race. And I'm here to tell you, toxic men are too sick. I'm going to put that flyer back up for you to see. High value black men are too sick for our race. They're toxic. But you can break that word down and you come up with the word too sick. Okay? Too sick. They're too sick. Their mentality is too sick. Their spirit is too sick. They live a too sick life because they're talking about how useful they are to others. Bro, you forgot about yourself. You sick. You sick. You sick, my G. I can't help you. You can't help me if you ain't well. No, I need to know how useful I am to myself first. I got to go take care of me. My mental, my emotional. I got to go take care of me. Then I'll be useful. Okay? I'm not trying to be useful to others. And see, he's getting men out of this mindset. He's getting men out of this mindset of how useful you are to others. But he don't understand subconsciously what he's doing with that rhetoric. He's making men look at that language. Thus, they forget subconsciously about themselves. So now they wake up with this notion in their mind: how useful can I be to others today? How useful can I be to others today? How useful can I be to others today? Wait a minute. Did I do anything for myself today? No. All right. Let me go. Let me not worry about anybody else. Let me do me. Let me not worry about anybody else. Let me do me first. Let me take care of me first. High virtuous men. High value men. High value black men are toxic to our race. And black women, as I was saying, the average black woman is a mother. And that mother, she possesses already she's already halfway at the mark of a high virtuous man. She's already halfway there. She has the nurturing spirit. She has the nourishing spirit. She has the nursing spirit. So she's halfway at the mark of meeting on the level of a high virtuous man. And the black woman, I'm saying this: stop looking at what a high value man can bring to you, because all he can bring to you is good smelling cologne, nice manicured nails, and a large bank account, and that might be okay for you. But then there's no love there. There's no love there. There's no love. Because he has no love for himself. Because he's trying to talk about, can he be accepted with these people? How useful can he be to others? He totally took all of this knowledge and made you just not look at yourself with it. And so why would you want a man like that's a sick man? Why would you want a man that don't look at himself? Why would you want a man that don't tend to himself? Why would you want a man that doesn't take care of himself? Why would you want a man that doesn't think about himself first? Why would you want a man like that? Why would you want that kind of man? Who's thinking about everybody else first? Huh? If he's thinking about himself, he's good for you. Because now, with him thinking about himself, he knows that his worth goes up quadruple. His worth goes up quadruple. He quadruples his worth. Because he sees now on a level what he can be to the woman who brings the nurturing, nursing, and nourishing spirit to the relationship. I don't want a high value woman. Give me a high virtuous woman. Give me a woman who possesses the nurturing, nourishing, nursing spirits, and bring her to me and tell her, yo, listen to me. We can go build off of this right here alone. We can go build off of that alone. Because as long as my mental is good, as long as your mental is good, as long as you take care of yourself, I take care of myself, that alone is feeding into each other's mental. That alone is feeding into each other's spirit. You taking care of yourself is feeding in my spirit. Because I see you doing well, living well, looking good. I'm like, yo, I want to do, you're inspiring me to go do me. And then me looking good, doing well, feeling good is also feeding into you. And so high value men is toxic. The high value black men is toxic to our race. Because their thinking is outside, literally outside the box of themselves. It's outside of themselves. All of Kevin Samuel's rhetoric gets men looking and thinking outside of themselves. It's how can I get to this status? It's got them looking outwardly, not inwardly. How can I get to this status? How can I get to this how can I get to this group? How can I be accepted by it? It's all work outside. It's all trying to, everything is effort. Everything is trying to make something happen. Everything is trying to make something happen. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Because I'm going to say it again and I'm going to close. Because work, I'm going to say it this way first. Jobs take labor. Work takes no effort. When you're living in your divine purpose, beloved, you wake up and you wake up in your purpose, and there's no effort to manifest what you are. You are what you are, and you're going to manifest that simply by breathing. Simply by breathing. I manifest what I am simply by breathing. I manifest what I want simply by breathing, because I wake up in my purpose. I wake up in my divine purpose. I wake up as a God, a GHAD. I wake up in as the great harmonious alignment of the divine. I am in my divinity. And so, as I said to you, and I'm out. The first universal law is the law of divine oneness. If you're not living in oneness with yourself, Kevin Samuels, because you got everybody, a value man, high value man, looking outside themselves. If you're not living in divine oneness with yourself, you ain't no good to nobody else, bro. You ain't no good to nobody else. Take this message, this high value stuff, and y'all can get rid of that now. I just destroyed Mr. Kevin Samuels' career right there. I just destroyed Kevin Samuels' career. If this goes viral, I promise you, the average woman that be on his panels, that show up in his panels, the average black woman that shows up in Kevin Samuels' panels, I guarantee you this video goes viral. The average black woman that shows up in Kevin Samuels' panel, and she sees this, she's going to use this as ammo. And that's what I ask you to do. Take this and use it as ammo against Mr. Kevin Samuels. If this goes viral, she's going to take this and use it as ammo against Kevin Samuels, and it's going to shut him up. It's going to shut him down. Because all he's going to do is run back to the money, as he do in all of his lives. If you notice, he always talk about high value men. High value men. They earn this and they earn that. He's only going to run back to the money talk. But as I said, what good is a high value man if me and him both are stuck on an island and he don't know how to climb a tree to get a coconut out that mug and quench his thirst? How good is a high value man if you don't know how to cut down palm leaves? You understand? And take some bamboo and make shelter for himself. What good is a high value man if you don't know how to do nothing like that? If you don't know how to go and hunt for his own food, start a fire. Something you learn in Boy Scout. I never took Boy Scout, but I learned all this stuff later on in survival, in survivor camps. If you don't know how to do simple stuff, what good is you, bro? What good is you, high value man? Your money ain't worth the note it's written on. Okay? Okay? Okay. Share this video. Tag Kevin Samuels. Let him know. Let this video go viral. Tell Kevin Samuels I just obliterated every little teaching of his. And remind him that 2 of his points is redundant. He repeats himself, and 2 of them, point 3 and point 4, they're really the same thing he's saying. So tell him, yeah, he just got, done up. All right, there it is. I love you. I love me. I love us. Y'all be well, be loved, and be light, beloved. Always remember, live from the soul. And guess what I get to do? I get to take off this hot ass suit. You see me? Yeah. Get out of here. High value men. Love y'all. Peace.